Hello, my name is NurrieStearns, and I have spent my adult life learning about and practicing and taking care of my own anxiety. I can remember speaking at a conference in college, first time I spoke publicly, and I had a panic attack. I froze. I couldn't think, I couldn't speak, I was sweating, I couldn't come out of my spell, my heart was racing, and finally I muttered a few words and went to my chair. And I didn't know I had panic attacks until that time, but I had some others after that as well. And then in college I also took a course in which I took an assessment instrument for anxiety. And to my mortification, I scored the highest score of my classmates. Not only did I have panic attacks, I had post-traumatic stress disorder, generalized anxiety, social anxiety, and phobias. I didn't think I was different from other people prior to that, but after that test in my own mind, I judged myself as really different from others, and not in an encouraging way. I thought something was really terribly wrong with me. I didn't know at that time that my anxiety was related to pretty significant childhood trauma, the trauma of poverty, living in a home with some chaos, of a father with a mental illness, and sexual abuse. And as you know, if you've experienced that personally, those kinds of things can take a toll on us. That's probably why I became a mental health professional, to come to terms with my own history, to help my family. So I'm going to share what helped in a nutshell, and I'm doing so as a way to support you. I know that you have to find your way with anxiety, and that what works for one person doesn't work for another. I also know that studying the topic and trying on different practices that calm anxiety is beneficial, and that we learn through the experiences of other people. And so I'll share a little more of my own experience. I'm going to begin now, and I'm going to jump to 1990. It's the year my husband and I got married, and the year that I began studying and practicing yoga and meditation and Eastern healing practices. And here's a little of what I learned. I learned to breathe and calm and soothe my body. I learned to observe my thoughts and to tap into the stillness beneath thoughts. And I learned to practice supreme self-kindness, to be my own best friend. I'm going to start with learning to be my own best friend, which I think is the supreme practice of self-compassion. Number one, to be kind in the way that you talk to yourself. For me, to be kind in the way that I talk to myself, to use the voice of a friend with myself, to talk in a way that a loving parent talks with a child. That's the voice of self-compassion. And to find words that really comforted me. Thich Nhat Hanh taught a practice of self-compassion where you simply say to yourself, "My dear, I am here. I will take care of you." And that implies a relationship with self, the one who's here taking care of us and the one who needs to be taken care of. And so other words for me that have been really helpful are like, just stay here, my dear, stay here. Because with my anxiety, I would get off into the future, which of course is a hallmark of anxiety. And so learning to stay present with kindness as my friend has helped me get through many, many kinds of situations. Other mantras have been, it's okay, I'm okay. It's okay, I'm okay. Because my anxiety would look at what's the next thing that's going to go wrong, or that I'm not enough, I'm not up to meet the demands of the circumstances. And so the words, it's okay, I'm okay, have been very, very helpful. So I think you have to find your words. What words are really helpful for you? To me, the main point is to be like a kind mother, to be a cheerleader, and to be a really dear friend to yourselves. Self-compassion's probably not enough, though. We also have to take care of our thoughts and learn to relate to our thoughts rather than getting subsumed in our thoughts. And so I'm going to start with a story of an experience back in the mid-1990s with Father Thomas Keating, a Trappist monk. I was interviewing him about low self-esteem. And in response to my question, what is it? He said, it's when you do not know who you are. It's an innocent misunderstanding. And I gave a quizzical look and a question mark, and he said, it's when you do not know you are your Father's child, which from his perspective meant that you do not know you're a sacred being, that all human life has value and is worthy inherently. And when he said that, I began to weep, as if I had been seen, as if the me beneath the story of trauma and unworthiness and not enough arose in recognition. And that was a real turning point for me, of knowing that I'm more than my story. And meditation helps us to be the observer of thoughts. It became easier for me to sit in meditation and watch my thoughts go by and recognize that I'm more than my thoughts, and that I didn't have to fall under the spell of those thoughts. And when I did fall under the spell of those thoughts, which I still do, that I could rescue myself and say, whoa, it's that old story again, or whatever other kind of fearful thought is passing by in my mind. And so meditation has taught me to just sit in stillness, just to rest and not react, and to breathe and to watch my thoughts, and to be able to rescue myself when I do again fall under the thoughts. So meditation teaches us that we are more than our thoughts, that we are also the awareness that observes our thoughts. And that is very releasing and freeing for many of us who become habituated to those worrying thoughts, those stressful thoughts, or those stories of insufficiency that are so uncomfortable in the body, and that erode our confidence and reinforce the story of unworthiness. And so we learn over time to watch our stories and to even be able to say, hello, my story, I see you. And when we watch the story and say, hello, my story, I see you, we're not under the spell of the story. We are in relationship with the story. We are in an empowered place in relationship to the story, because then we can say, nah, I know you, but this doesn't help me, and choose a thought that is more nurturing to us. Thoughts for me that have been very helpful are just trust, my dear, trust, or you can do it, or ask for help, or speak up for yourself, or you're okay. Very simple thoughts like that. All those thoughts that I have so needed for a long time, as long as I can remember, and I continue to need for my well-being. So meditation teaches us to watch our thoughts, and then to select thoughts that are much more nurturing for us. So there's being a friend to yourself, there's relating to your thoughts, and then there's yoga. There's the ability to breathe, like breathe through the upset, come back to the body and breathe. Yoga has taught me to put my attention into my body and actually be aware of being in my body and being aware of sensations in my body. I had a tendency to dissociate, and so I could be pretty unaware of what was going on in my body. But yoga's taught me to recognize the experience of being home in my body. It's taught me how to stay with sensations rather than run from sensations. It's taught me that I can hold a pose in yoga and take just a couple more breaths and not back away or run away from the experience, that I can be with my sensations and breathe through my sensations. So doing that has helped me to be able to breathe through emotions, which of course are physical sensations. It's helped me to stay in the present moment, and it's helped me appreciate the present moment. Yoga, it's released stiffness. I carried such tension in my neck. I still get tense in my neck, but my body's not as tense as it was. Trauma gets stored in the body, in the nervous system, and the tenseness has dissolved, and I relax more. It's through yoga that I truly learned what it feels like to be relaxed in my body. And I want all of us to be able to feel really relaxed. Yoga has helped me feel really comfortable being with other people. I practice in community with others, and we breathe together and move together and chant together. And I've grown to feel very, very safe being in a shared practice with other people. So in a nutshell, I've offered just the highlights of what's so been helpful for me in terms of being my own best friend and observing thoughts and cultivating nurturing thoughts and saying, oh, hello to the thoughts that I know you're there, to the thoughts that aren't helpful, and to breathe and be in my body. And I sure hope that you find some benefit for yourself as well. Thank you so much.